Greetings everyone, welcome to Advance. This game was played in FIDE Swiss 2025, and with the white pieces we have the magician Divya Deshmukh. With the black pieces we have Ivic Velimir. He's a very strong grandmaster from Serbia. 2600 rated opponent. She's playing in a tournament which has an average rating of 2600, and we had actually, for those of you who were watching the stream, you know that there was Grandmaster Ankit Rajpara, actually the founder of Chess Neurons there, and he said a very nice thing that when Divya Deshmukh took the decision of playing in the open section, it really reminded him of one of the absolute legends, Judith Polgar, where she used to actually play in just the open section, and her game got to a point where she was absolutely just beating all of these top grandmasters. She was in top 10, and that's the direction Divya is heading as well. And when Divya was asked about it, Divya said that even if I'm able to inspire like few of the young little girls to play in the open section, my job would be done. And that's the brilliant mindset, and that's the brilliant thing that these prodigies are doing, to trying and play in the open section, inspiring other peoples. That's a great direction that they are heading. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Hey, this is going to be an epic one. Here Divya starts with e4. We have c5 now, Sicilian defense, knight to f3, e6, and b3. This is the Western attack, and yeah, this is a very definitely a preparation here. Knight to c6, bishop to b2, queen to c7, and c4. So we had rest day yesterday, so there's going to be a lot of preparations, and here with the black pieces you're going to have to be very careful. We have knight to f6, knight to c3, a6 now, g3, rook to b8, and bishop to g2. And one thing that I admire about these young genius prodigies is their ability to actually just push every game for a win. We saw here right when even last to last round, where she was not able to actually hold him to a draw in a drawish position. She pushed a bit too much, but still the result didn't matter. She pushed for a win. She did not get the result. It didn't matter. Even the next match she pushed for a win. Eventually that ended in a draw, and she's again here with the white pieces now pushing for a win. That is the mindset that you want to have when you want to reach the pinnacle of chess, and that is the thing that they are showing here. b5 now, but now just going for the c captures, a captures. C captures was a great move in this position, and now just castles, and in this position just b4, just pushing the knight away. We have knight to a4, and in this position here Ivic made a blunder. He went for e5, and e5 is a blunder if you want to understand it. It's just very crazy that someone can actually go for a move like this right from the opening. But it sometimes happens when you're in territory that is unknown to you. You tend to make mistakes, that these kinds of silly mistakes. And in this position there's only one best move in this position, and right now you really have to see it, because you can actually target that pawn twice, and that's exactly what Divya does. She goes for rook to c1, just targeting that pawn. We have d6 now, but just d4. d4 is a beautiful move, just challenging the center and also saying you don't have anything in this position. Knight to d7 was played, but just some d captures, and now in this position just going for this bishop to s3. This is the defender that you would want to eliminate, and it seems like maybe that you have actually fiend kettled your bishop. Your light square would be very weak. Why would you actually want to go for something like this? The thing is that in this line you actually can, because it's giving you a very nice advantage. Here knight to b6 was played, but now just comes this knight captures, and you have just given up this. And you might be wondering, why did you just give up the bishop? Because now comes knight to a6, now just going for this very nice exchange, and you cannot do anything in this position. Even if you try to, a queen to b7 was played, the queen has to move, knight captures, and if you're thinking you can just go for rook captures, your position is absolutely going to become worse, because this comes knight captures, and that is very nicely defended by the rook, and you cannot even move the bishop back. If you move the bishop to anywhere, here just comes queen to d7, and that's unfortunately a very nice checkmate here in this position. And even if you try queen to d7 and move like that, the problem is I can just pick up the bishop, and yeah, I would be up a bit too much material, and right from the opening this would be completely crushing here. So here after knight captures on b8, we have knight captures, not just picking up the exchange, and Divya just moves the rook away and saying that you absolutely don't have anything in this position. Your king is still in the center. How are you going to actually approach this position? He goes for bishop to e7, but just bishop captures, and now you've won the central pawn as well, and your position is absolutely spectacular. And just move 20, and Divya would be very happy with her opening choice right now. It just comes knight to c6, attacking the bishop, and just bishop caps on g7, another pawn capture after you were able to grab the bishop, and now just grabbing those pawns. I mean, she's up so much material in this position, but she still has to be careful. Her light squares are a little bit, just a little bit weak, but still I think that won't matter that very much. Here rook to g8 was played, but now just comes knight to e5. Knight to e5 is such a Divya move here in this position. I mean, she's like, I'm not going to be able to just move my bishop here. Please don't mind. I'm going to be attacking your knight. And in this position you can't even go for this knight captures. Here bishop captures and f5. If you try to go for just queen to h5, and here this connects very nicely with the bishop, and you cannot even do anything in this position. So here after knight to e5, here bishop to d7 was played, just pushing the bishop back. But Now you've just given me the opportunity to actually trade the very strong light squared bishop, and I would be a very very happy person. So here just knight captures would have been played, but after queen captures, let's say you play this king captures, and after rook e to d1, I'm just up so many pawns here in this position. There is nothing you can do. The position, I mean, engine evaluation is saying I'm 3.1, so I'm basically a piece up, and yeah, that would be absolutely amazing here in this position. I can just get the bishop back, and yeah, there is nothing you can do in this position. But in this position, after bishop to d7, she went for knight captures on c6, and it looks like a move that you would naturally just doesn't come to you. It doesn't throw away a lot of your advantage. It just throws away a little bit, but still, bishop captures, and now just comes queen to c2, bishop to b5, and this is just move 24. So they still have to make 16 moves for to reach time control. On both players are like less than 15 minutes. So it's going to be very very difficult to try and actually not make a blunder in this position. But I think Divya would really like it to to approach her position in a way where she, even if she throws away her advantage, it won't be a lot. So here bishop to d4, now just moving the bishop back. We have rook to g6, rook e to d1, and bishop to c6. So no matter how much you try, central pawn is going to be something that's going to be under fire. But if you lose it, it's just going to be a little bit difficult to hold the position, because as I said before. And bishop to c5, now just comes this bishop caps on e4. We have queen to e2, rook to e6, and just queen to b5 check. And now what do you even do in this position here? Knight to d7 was played, but just queen captures and bishop captures. Now once you've traded the queen, you have to understand your position is very very nice in this. And now here bishop caps on e7, king captures, rook to e1, and the bishop to d5 was played in this position. But the problem is the endgame is very very winning for me in this position. A rook against two pieces, normally two pieces are better, but you have to understand in this position I'm up so many pawns here, it doesn't even matter. If you go for rook caps on e6 here, bishop captures, rook to c6, and after knight to e5 here in this position, rook to b6, knight to d3, the position is just completely winning here. How long do you think I'd be able to I have to just dislodge the knight and just capture those pawns? There is nothing that you can do, even if I just king to f1, and the position is absolutely agreeing with me. Here bishop to d5, but after bishop to d5 here king to f1 was played, just getting the king into the game. And here bishop to e4, and now just comes this rook to e3 and knight to b6. The position is still very much fine. There was not a blunder. Actually, you can just still put some pressure and still exchange the rooks. It's going to be completely winning even then. Here rook to d1, just bishop to c6, so rook to d4, and now just comes knight to d5, rook caps on e6, king captures, king to e1, and here just two more moves are required to reach time control. The position is very very easy now, and I think Divya would not blunder anything in this position. Here bishop to b5, but I think Ivic just might, and he just did, because he goes for bishop to b5, and this is actually a blunder, because now king to d2 was played to trying to reach time control, but there is a very nice move in this position. I'll show you here h5, but now just comes rook to h4, f6 now, and both players have reached time control. Here rook caps on h5 was played, but just knight to c3, and in this position there is a very nice move, which is this a4. And a4 is such a beautiful move, because now you cannot even go en passant, because now here the knight would hang. So here bishop to c6, but now just comes this rook to h4, king to d5, and rook caps on b4, and the knight is under attack. Here what do you do if you don't move to your central location? Now your knight is going to get trapped. Let's say you go to this, but here, I mean, there are no more squares. Your knight is trapped, and your position is completely lost. Here if you go for knight to e4 check, then just king to e2, and there is nothing in this position that you can have. Those two pass pawns are pushing, and if your two pieces can handle those two pass pawns, then h pawn is pushing. There is nothing in this position that you can do. But after knight to c3 here, a3 was played by Divya. A3 is equally winning. There is nothing in this position you can do. Knight to b1 was tried, but after king to c1, knight caps on a3, and you might be wondering, well, what do you do now? Well, just rook to h4, and how do you even defend that pawn? Here bishop to c6 was played, because now this rook captures, and that would have come under fire. So here just rook caps on b4, knight to b5, h4 now, and knight to d6 was tried, but just king to d2, bishop to d5, and rook to b6, king to d7. Here just comes king to e3, and it was on this move, on just move 49, that Ivic Velimir resigned the game, and the magician Divya Deshmukh got this spectacular victory. Like finding those amazing moves here, and knowing in that moment just right from the opening to sacrifice the light squared bishop is the thing that gets you into that top territory. Went for that knight to a6, grabbed the exchange, and here in this position just got the rook into the game. It was completely winning so many pawns in the process as well. I mean, it was just absolute phenomenal class here in this position. And if you don't believe me, you can hear the words of Grandmaster Ankit Rajpara. He said it amazingly that when you play such a strong tournament here in this, I mean, you are facing not just 12600, and if you win or draw against them, whatever you do, if you win, draw, lose the three results game, then next match you're going to have to face another 2600. So it's a really strong tournament, and she did not actually hold the two grandmasters that she beat here, 2600 rated, she actually outplayed them. So that's absolutely spectacular. The way she's been heading, that's like fighting every game, going for wins every game, grinding every game towards the very end. She also played a game which was 101 moves long, trying to go for the draw. That was absolutely spectacular. She's been showing signs of absolute, I mean, just glimpses of greatness here, which just shows, I mean, she's gonna become an absolute legend. And I have been telling you for years, she play her attacking game, her aggressive game just reminds me of Tal, reminds me of Morphe, reminds me of Yudit, reminds me of Capablanca, and that's exactly where she's heading. She's playing every game she wants to win it, and she pushes in every game and gets these kind of results. And results even doesn't even matter to her. She just has that mindset of getting up, going to these games, and having the same mindset of winning every single game. That just shows phenomenal class, and that's what she's all about. You're gonna see these genius prodigies like Arjun Erigesi and Prague and Gukesh, Divya gonna be reaching the pinnacle of chess because this is the mindset they're going by. And all I can say is this is Divya Deshmukh, an absolute genius prodigy and definitely a world chess champion in the making. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with these amazing games. Stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching.